Brand New You program is based on the 10 rules that I've been sharing with the biggest names across the planet. Ten mind programming presuppositions using NLP and hypnosis, life coaching and counseling techniques, all bringing together emotional intelligence and empathy to empower people to believe that they can do what they truly need to do to get themselves to brand new successes. This incredibly interesting and interactive presentation guarantees they start thinking differently from the moment we begin. Firstly, you have to get outside of your comfort zone. Once you can do that, you can do anything. Most people don't know they have all the tools, all the tricks, all the abilities, and all the skill sets to be able to move forward. Success changes for everybody, and it's always a work in progress. The 10 rules of success are all presuppositions that, when taken in context, can give you the ability to take any situation, however dire and disappointing, however depressed and challenging it is, and find a simple way of getting your way forward. But it's not just me in front of a giant PowerPoint screen. There's also a ton of fun with interactive videos that they will love. Some of them are really cute. Some put their lives really into perspective.
How do you keep yourself psychologically healthy in space?
It's also interactive with lots of thrills, spills, and laughs.
Here you go, house please.
Yes. They also get a special gift, something to reprogram and help them on their journey. The Brand New You NLP audio program.
My name is Dave Crane. We've never had a time where so many people feel so lonely, so isolated, so helpless, and so scared. Worried about their jobs, worried about their future, worried about their family, worried about their health. That's why I've created this audio. As a hypnotherapist, I've helped many people to create success in their business life, in their personal life, and in their emotional stability. Imagine being able to talk to the very best of you in the past, the most successful version of you, and getting them to advise you on how you need to move forward. And being able to talk to a future version of you who's already lived through this and had the success that you could have dreamed of, who's telling you what they did next. This audio is designed to give you both of them as your mentors and to help you create a brand new you. Enjoy, and please share with those who you know need it as well. My name is Dave Crane.
Only me, how are you? I'm David Crane, welcome back to Speak on Stage. I got told off yesterday by the wife. I get told off every day by the wife, but told off yesterday by the wife because she said, you were miserable yesterday. I went, no, I wasn't miserable. She said, you were, you didn't smile much. So I've been told off, so I apologize if you caught yesterday's show and I look miserable. It's my face, it does that. It's just got miserable bits built into it. You see, sometimes when you see TV presenters and they're talking, like when you're watching people doing news like Fox News, CNN, or BBC, not so much BBC. BBC tends to have people a bit more ugly like me, but I used to work for BBC, which means I'm telling the truth. But Fox and CNN and whatever, MSNBC, tend to have people with chiseled looks. So even when they're angry, but really sort of attractive with it, and if they've got something that makes them happy, then their faces beam. And you go, you know what, the world's okay, even though there's an asteroid that's going to wipe us all out on the 2nd of November. It doesn't matter too much, we're fine. But I've just got a face That just looks like I don't know what I mean. I'm turning into a cross between Morgan Freeman and I think with the glasses, I'm looking a bit like a mole. So you know Mole from Toad Hole and Wind of the Willows. You don't. If you did know it, you'd go, no, Dave, you don't look like that. Because you don't know it, because I'm really old and I've got the wrong idea about stuff to share with you as a reference point, you're probably going to think it's true now and you'll Google it later. So I wish I'd never said that. But hopefully, even if I do come across as a little bit Middlesbrough, I am a bit Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, the north of east of England, I'm a lot of Middlesbrough. That's where I come from. A little bit miserable was what I was trying to say. Keep on the money, Dave, and we'll get there eventually. I am not. I'm in a good mood. Today's show, I'm dead excited. Oh my goodness. I'm really excited for a lot of different reasons because today's show is all about how to kick ass in a crowded market. And you shouldn't say the word ass. I get told off by my daughter for the level of profanity that I bring to the table every day of my life. But hey, we're in lockdown. If you want to say kick ass, you can say kick ass. And just turning back to that picture again, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Dave, that's a gratuitous picture of Scarlett Johansson. And she's wearing like a sort of like a leather jumpsuit. And she's looking very ladylike in a kind of guns and girls fetishy kind of thing. And I don't mean it like that. Well, I'll do a little bit. But I don't mean it like that. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm a massive superhero fan. And one of the things I love about the character that she plays in The Avengers is the fact that she's got no superpowers at all. Nothing. Apart from obviously guns and huge martial artist ability and stuff. But when she goes out to fight, and before I carry on with this, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Dave, none of these are real. They're not real. They're just movies. What do you think's going on? In my world, they're real because I reinvent my life the way I want it to be. And you should as well. That's what today's session's all about. Blue Ocean strategy. Keep up. We'll talk about it later on. Trust me. It'll make sense in a minute. So anyway, Black Widow, the character she plays, goes out into battle alongside Iron Man. Well, not anymore. Thanos, how could you? Well, he didn't, did he? Iron Man did it unto himself. I'm sorry if I've spoiled Endgame for you, which I probably have. The rest of the planet watched it. Well, half the planet, if you know what I'm talking about, watched it and knows exactly what happened and knows that Marvel's reinventing itself. But the thing is, you can't go to the cinema because it's probably got half of the seats blocked off, even if it's open. So you're probably going to have to wait till you can download it or watch it or get it on whatever normally you watch movies. And shame on you for not watching it. So I'm not feeling too bad about mentioning Iron Man. Stress toy, no more. Okay. Also, in many ways, hey, but stress toy and slightly less. So going back to it, Black Widow is the character that goes into battle alongside the Hulk and Thor and Captain America and Iron Man and Hawkeye, who's got no powers either. But she's got no powers at all. But she couldn't give her monkeys. And why is that? It's because she goes out and she does a different thing to everybody else. She goes out and she looks at the battle that she can fight, the one that she's going to win, not taking on the big, massive, crazy, oh my God, nobody's going to beat that, which is what Thor's job or the Hulk's job is. She'll go out and take on the battle that she can win. And this is the key thing to today. I'm going to share with you some amazing things today. I'm going to share with you a video on Blue Ocean strategy. I'm going to share with you a video of me talking about talents on stage at a women's forum. And I know it's going to sound like, oh, Dave, what do you know about girls? And my wife says that all the time. What do you know about girls? But I live in a very estrogen-driven house. And I'll tell you why. Because I've got my wife in it. I've got my daughter in it, Maya, who's 10. Not my wife. That would be very young for a wife. Illegal. Don't go there. I've got my two dogs, they're both female, and me in it. And it's not like you go in your house and you see everybody go, hi, how are you? And when you go to work, you go in your house and you close the door and you keep the coronavirus out. So you stay in your house with your family. So my house is a very estrogen, female-driven house. And because I've got a daughter and I haven't got a question for you, right? I feel really bad about this. By the way, welcome to a show. I should say this first. If you just joined me, my name's Dave Crane. I'm in a good mood today. I want to share with you a couple of different things, but I want to know where you're from. All the time, let us know. Say hi, Dave, and tell me which country you're coming from so everyone else can see, and it just becomes like a big happy family. Also, as you're doing it, make sure you subscribe on YouTube so you get every time I broadcast, because I broadcast on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Periscope, and something else. Instagram. Connect with me on all of those platforms, and then you'll get to see everything as it comes up, and you won't miss a show. Because I bet you missed a show yesterday, because I went out in the afternoon instead, because I was busy doing other stuff, and I came back. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. I need your advice on this, right? I need the answer. The answer could be yes or no, all right? Don't answer yet, don't say anything yet, don't say nothing yet. If you have a child, right, I shouldn't say this because my wife doesn't know this. If you've got a child, right, and your child is a girl, and your child is 10 years old, can you tell them nursery rhymes that are funny, but a little bit shouldn't be told at school? Yes or no? Answer yes or no. I'll give you an example in a minute, and you're going to turn around and say, Dave, I'm not sure if that's suitable for grown-ups to know about. But it was really funny, so I'll share an example with you about one of them. And I want a yes, it's okay, or no, it's not. I'll take, because you're my friends, I'll listen to you, and I really care about what you think. About that much. But I'll take what you say as gospel in this. If you say no, I won't say it again to her. If you say yes, then I'll continue to be the dad that I am. And if you've met Maya anyway, she's really fun. So I'll stop the music, and if you laugh or smile or even find it a bit amusing, it's got to be a yes. If you're straight-faced, poker-faced, and like that, then it's a no. And I'll understand it if it's a no. So you've got to vote. Not yet. Don't vote. Don't do it yet. Right, here we go. Mary had a little lamb. Her father shot it dead. And now it goes to school with her between two chunks of bread. Is that funny, yes or no? Is it inappropriate to share with a kid who wants to score points with her friends and have fun, and a kid who's probably a lot more mature at her age at 10 than I am at now at 52? I don't know. Tell me what you think. I'd love to know, because it's really something I just want to find out, really, to be honest. So welcome back to Speak on Stage. As I was saying, we've got so many things. We're talking about blue ocean strategy today, because it's all about how to kick ass in a... Oh, let me just show you again. If you just joined us, it won't make sense until you see it. How to kick ass in a crowded marketplace. Right now, so many people are finding that the world has just changed its shape. It's gone like that. And what used to be so simple and so obvious just isn't anymore. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is the fact that if you were doing a job that had like a bank, for instance, I mean, banking's been on the slide for a while. I'm glad, because they should treat people like human beings. And it's actually our money, not your money. So when we give you our money, we get treated like poo when we queue up to get access to our own money. And you say, can I just find out how much money you've got? And we say, yes, well, you can do. Fill in this form, give me that bit of ID, do that, stand there next to that person and look at the wall like a bad kid. And then when you finish looking at the wall, I'll tell you when you can turn around. Not yet, not yet. Don't turn around yet. Are you ready? No, don't turn around. Okay, can I turn? Yes, you can. And that's going to cost you $20 for that bit of paper that I've just printed off, which cost me less than $1,000 to print off. But I can go like that. Why? Because I'm a bank and you don't matter. Now, if you're a banker, I'm very sorry for the perception that I shared with you there. But I promise you, that is what I am feeling and many other people are feeling, which is why I'd much rather go with an app. No offense, but it's true. But the point I'm making is just actually the world has changed so much. So many businesses are changing as a direct result. Talks about education, talks about bricks and mortar businesses, real estate is altered. If you were in the city, it was expensive. In the countryside, it was cheap. Now in the countryside, it's cheap. In the city, it's now in the countryside, it's expensive, and the city is cheap because nobody wants to get coronavirus or bump into people or see other human beings again for the rest of their life. So with that, so many ways of doing business are crowded with people, and so many ways of doing business are empty, and you've got to find a way to reinvent yourself or find a way to make your business work in a market that might be crowded, but find a place for you to turn it around. So, excuse me. So it's slightly different. I'll just have some coffee. Have you got coffee? What coffee have you got? Tell me. What make? I can't remember what make this is. I have to tell you tomorrow. It's really nice. It's special slimmer coffee. Because I found that when you drink coffee, sometimes it can sort of agitate you. a little bit and I bloat, but this is slimmer coffee and I can drink as much as I want. I can drink it like by the bucket. Apart from the fact I'll be like this. If I drink too much of it, I'll never probably sleep again. So going back to this original idea, it's about how do you reinvent yourself. And so in a few months, I'm going to show you Blue Ocean strategy. Got a brilliant video. Let me just show you actually the article we're going to be talking about in a few moments' time. Okay, so don't be a miserable success when you reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, reinvent a direction. There's 5 ways to build a great business and a great life at the same time. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. You don't have to work really hard and not have fun. And there's certain things you can cut out and change and alter that will really make things different for you. And I love this. It's a really important thing. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into 10 or is it 11 points about how to kick ass in a crowded market. All this and more coming up in this show. Are you excited? Are you? Would you find it difficult to sleep if I'm talking because you're going, ooh, Dave, really exciting? Or maybe because you're sleeping in the car, or maybe because I won't stop talking. Any of the above. Next up, by the way, what we're going to do is we're going to examine what a blue ocean strategy is and why that will work for you. Nice to see you. Welcome to the show. How are you? When somebody says, how are you? What they're really saying is, did you miss me? They couldn't care how you are. Apart from me, I do care how you are. Okay? It's Speak on Stage. So how are you?
In 1984, Guy Laliberté co-founded Cirque du Soleil. Soon, Cirque was bringing in revenues that incumbents like Ringling Brothers had taken more than a century to attain, even though the circus business was in long-term decline. How did Cirque thrive in such a dismal environment? The answer can be found in the theory that the business universe consists of 2 kinds of markets, red oceans and blue oceans, a concept pioneered by INSEAD professors W. Chan Kim and René Beauborn. Red oceans represent existing industries and markets, where industry boundaries and the rules of competition are well defined. Companies strive to outperform rivals and grab a bigger share of existing demand. As the space gets crowded, fierce competition turns the water bloody. Competitive or market competing strategy is about how to occupy red oceans. By contrast, blue ocean or market creating strategy is about how to create and capture unknown markets where demand is created rather than fought over. In some cases, this spawns entirely new industries. But most blue oceans emerge when a company alters the boundaries of an existing industry, as when Cirque du Soleil blurred the line between circus and theatre. Cirque made the acts more artistic and sophisticated, attracting a whole new group of customers, adults who are prepared to pay premium ticket prices as they would for the theatre or the opera. Cirque also eliminated several elements of the traditional circus like costly animal acts and star performers. Cirque invented a new and profitable market space without making the typical trade-off between value and cost. Cirque pursued both differentiation and low cost in what Kim and Beauborn call value innovation. The simultaneous pursuit of value and cost is the logic of blue ocean strategy. Based on their study of more than 30 industries, companies that can create blue oceans usually reap the benefits for 10 to 15 years because they are hard for rivals to copy. To realize blue ocean potential like Cirque did, companies should chart a strategic course past traditional industry boundaries to create new market space.
Isn't it great? I mean, I remember when I just read, first of all, for the very first time about the Blue Ocean strategy, and it was a really thick book, and it was really, really boring. I've got to be honest. I mean, it's an interesting subject, fascinating subject, but I found that it's sometimes you're reading business books, and you can't hear a voice in your head apart from your own one going, put the book down, it's boring. But now you can get an appotted version on Speak on Stage as a video. How good is that? You don't need to read all the other stuff. And I remember when I was reading it, it was one of those books where I used to buy audiobooks all the time because I used to sit in the car for long journeys on the way to work, on the way to see clients, on the way to gigs, and I'd read books as audios. The thing I like about doing that is when you're reading a book, you can get stuck on something and go, I don't know what they mean. When you Google it, and then shiny object syndrome takes over. You know, shiny object syndrome, where you go, okay, let's see what this is. And you're just looking at it and say, right, so what do you mean by blue ocean strategy? And then they say, Blue Pearl was a song in the 90s. It's got a video here. Let's have a click on it. And the video opens up and you go, oh, I remember that song, and it reminds me of Rhythm is a Dancer. I wonder where I can find that. And you start looking to get Rhythm is a Dancer, and suddenly you're just down the rabbit hole of YouTube on the internet, and you're lost and never come back again. So, or you do come back again, otherwise you'd be in the Matrix, which is different. So instead, by audiobooks, every time you're listening to it, if they say a word that you don't know, or a phrase that you don't know, I would say, so that's why the Kafanda and the Kalambanda comes together and really changes the way that people now perceive a Kanindabalububum. And you're going, I don't know anything about that at all. And normally you start scratching your head, or you start going like that, and you think, I really want to die, but not in the car. Actually, you wouldn't be reading in the car, would you? But if you're listening to an audiobook, it then goes on to chapter 4. And you can go, I don't know what that meant. Maybe they'll explain it later on. And your mind goes, la, 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 pretend it didn't happen, la, 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 la. And you just find you can get on to the rest of it. So you end up with about 70% of a book goes in, and about 30% of a book goes on a holiday. And that's all right, because then you got 70% of a book in about 2 hours or 3 hours or however long it took to do it. So what I wanted to share with you, which has nothing to do with that, was about getting out of this crowded market. You understand about the concept of the blue ocean strategy. And by the way, I love you to share your thoughts and ideas with me as always. I really do appreciate that. I want to show you now this, which is I forgot what it's called now. It's the hedgehog concept. Now let me share with you what the hedgehog concept is really all about. You can see it here. Let me reduce it slightly so it doesn't just take away most of my head. In fact, I'll make it big so you can see there. It's got 3 circles. The blue one is what you're best at. If I move to this side, can you see me? Hello, it's me, it's Dave. So what you've got here is a blue circle which says, what are you best at in the world? Potentially best at in the world. And the green one, you'll look at in a minute. The red one is what are you passionate about? So what do you love doing all the time you never get bored doing? Don't be rude. And number 3, the green one, is what drives your economic engine. What do you make profit from? How can you make money from it? I'll just slide back over here because otherwise it looks like I'm waiting for somebody to come in the room, and that's kind of weird. There we go. And I'm stuck behind it now. I'm here. There you go. See? My wife was saying I was miserable yesterday, and now I'm just like, I've had too much sugar, or maybe like a gallon of Red Bull. So with the blue ocean strategy and with this, you're going to create your hedgehog. The idea is, what would you do that you should do for the rest of your life? And in the center of this is your win. I won't explain the hedgehog concept too much because I've done this many times before. I just want to show and illustrate. So you're going to find out, what am I best in the world at doing? What do I love doing? And what will people pay for? When you get that right, that's in the center. And the odds are the job that you're doing right now is not that. The job that you're doing right now is something completely different. So that's why I wanted to share that with you. And I keep moving my seat around. It's like musical chairs, isn't it? Without any music. But we've got music now. You can move around. You move around your chair at home. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. When the music stops, you've got to stop moving. Stop. Are you moving? I'm watching you. Are you moving? Dave's keeping an eye on you. No? Okay, in that case, still don't move. And now the music should start and we can begin again in a moment. Don't move yet, stay for it. And ready? Here we go, start moving. So that was musical chairs, which made no sense at all. All right, so next I want to share with you the concept of what talent means, because a lot of people are worried about the mindset of getting out into a kick-ass market, about reinventing yourself in a crowded market and kicking ass. I keep saying ass, it's a rude word, I don't mean to, it's really important to get this image across to you about how much it really matters that you consider yourself to be capable of doing anything you want in your life and not putting up with people's problems, thinking that just because they can't do it, you can't do it. You have the ability to be brilliant, and we have the duty to be brilliant throughout our entire lives. You should not be spending time going, oh no, I've lost my job, therefore I'm worthless. No, no. What you did was before you pitched in for a job with somebody or you had a business that did a certain thing. The world's changed, it's different. And somebody owned you. They're paying you hourly to own you as long as possible. Well, now they're not doing that anymore. Let me put this in perspective because we're going to be dealing with how to get a job in one of the future episodes. I want to help you deal with rejection. Rejection is not getting something you didn't have in the first place. Not getting something you didn't have in the first place. So you go for a job interview, you sit there, you work really hard, you go, look, this is me, and you're wearing a proper suit, and you've done your hair, you've even had a shower, which you probably haven't had in lockdown since you went into lockdown, but you're there, and you're wearing clothes below the waist, which you might not do when you're zooming. So you're there, and you give it your best shot, and they go, oh, we'll get back to you, and you go, please, love, and then you get a Dear John. Your name's not John, but you get, Dear John, thank you very much for coming along to see us. Unfortunately, this time you were not successful, which it's like that. But the thing is, you might go, oh, they hate me. Now, there's two factors to come from this. First one, it's a numbers game. If you get a 1 out of 10 chance for getting a job, and you go for 5 jobs, you've got a 0.5 chance of getting it. You go for 10 jobs, you've got a 1 in 10 chance. You go for 500 jobs, you got 50 opportunities. You get 50 offers out of 500 jobs. You get it, it's a numbers game. Second thing is what I just talked about. You didn't have a job before, you haven't got a job now, who cares? Doesn't make you a lesser person, but get all the stuff that you've got in your life, put it into a big bag, all the feedback, what I did right, what I did wrong, shake it up, take out the stuff that's useful, and the useful thing might be a plum. Plum really taught me a lot. Okay, so with that, welcome back to Speak on Stage. We're going to share with you a video now of me doing a gig. Why do I want to share it with you? Because I think the stuff I talk about is kind of useful. And also, I like sharing these videos with you because it shows you a bit of stagecraft, how to work an audience, how to get the cameras to fit in and capture what it is that you're doing. So then you can share it with other people. So if you're a speaker and you haven't got footage of what you do, then this should be a way of helping you to understand how you can start compiling clips that you can use to start getting jobs in the future. Now, I know we're not going to be having speaking jobs the way that we were before. We're going to have something completely different, and I talked about it yesterday. So if you're on any particular platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter, look at yesterday's posts and you'll see the video, the show I did all about how to reinvent yourself with a new speaker's business model. But today, it's all about how your talent makes a huge difference as to who you are and what people think of you. So that's a video that's up next. Speak on Stage. And there's about 7 different factors involved in creating success, and the least of them is talent. Being talented doesn't make a lot of difference at all to being successful. You can be more successful than somebody who's got a natural talent at something by working harder on it, being at the right place, right time, and having the right opportunities and being ready for it and being groomed for it. So one fallacy about success is that everybody can do the same thing. That's not true either. If you're born in a certain part of the world, certain country, to certain parents, with certain advantages, you will, by the odds, do better than somebody who's less advantaged. You will just do better. It's not an equal world for anybody. It doesn't mean that should stop you being who you really want to be. If somebody has made it, then you can make it as well. And it's not a competition to see how well you can do compared to everybody. It's a competition of you versus you. How much better can you be than you were the day before? It's very important. Don't watch anybody else and say, how come they've got that? Watch yourself and say, how can I get better at what I do? And then it becomes a game that you can win. I hope that made sense to you, and if you just join me, welcome to, my name is Dave Crane, it says so there, and this show is called Speak on Stage. All about how to do public speaking and how to learn to brand yourself and market yourself better, how to reinvent yourself and how to get your mindset right. Today's show is very specific. It's about this. It's about the ability to understand how to kick ass in a crowded marketplace. And so I'm giving you tips and tricks. If you just joined us, you'll have to watch over the old part of the show because you've missed the Blue Ocean strategy and how talent isn't the only factor that's important in making you successful. In fact, it's one of the least of all the factors that makes a big impact. Okay, so I've got my stress toy, which is gold, because in Dubai, as you can see, my backdrop behind me, and the view I have every morning, and you have every morning, we have gold. This is how we get all, this is actually a bread loaf made of gold in Dubai. That's what I'm talking about, missus. Right, not my missus. Oh, she's not here. I don't pay money for my missus. I wasn't, well, actually I do now I think about it. It cost me a fortune. Oh my goodness. She came in today, said, can I borrow your credit card? I went, yeah, sure, no problem. And she just walked out. So anyway, as I was talking about it, I think we should share it. How to be a happy success and build a great business and a great life. And this is from Huffington Post as well, which is always really good. Number one, rethink your perspective on money. Now, the reason I say that is they say money doesn't buy you happiness. Money can buy you happiness, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Happiness is happiness. And if you actually work out what made you most happy throughout your entire life, it's actually a very simple time. You are happiest when you're in the zone. Let me explain. So let me explain by showing you with, I'm trying to find something I can explain it with. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. The first time on this show, I'll show you me letting my hair down. There you go. Doesn't that look hot? No, it just looks stringy. So imagine your life. You've got a choice of events in your life. And some events are easy to do, some events are rubbish to do. But if an event is too easy, you won't put any effort in because you don't care. But if an event is too hard, you won't put your effort in because it's too difficult. But there's a tension in it that when you work on it, your happiest times are when you really had to stretch yourself to be able to step up, to be able to make success in your life. Let me explain. So I've got this elastic band on my hair, right? I'm going to hold it up so you can see it there. I'll move it to here. So I go, I'm going to pull it now, and you're thinking it's going to snap, it's going to snap. And there's a tension there. If I pull too much more, it will snap. If I don't pull enough, it's just like that, and it's rubbish. So your life should be full of opportunities like that, where you create tension, where things are not too easy, but they're not too difficult. So you want to be tested all the time. Now the key to this, apart from learning to do your hair faster when you're doing your own TV show, Dave, people don't want to stare at you with your arms in the air, looking for sweat patches on your t-shirt, and thinking, has he really got his fingers stuck in his hair? And the answer was yes for a few seconds, but I'll never admit it to anybody, so you didn't hear it here, okay? So the answer is, find times in your life where you're getting out of your comfort zone, stay in a discomfort zone, always be that stretched tension, and that brings you happiness in reflection because you're engaged in stuff. So if you're a sports person and you're in the zone, you don't even notice when you're doing stuff, but you're achieving amazing things. If you're running, you're working in the gym, playing football, whatever it is, swimming, whatever your thing is, cycling. Or if you're concentrating on doing some work and you're in the zone and you're in that magic place where things are coming into your mind, and time passes differently because you're in a little hypnotic trance. But as a result of that, it's really fascinating. So get happiness like that. And that's not about money. But people turn around and say, you know, money's not important. They're idiots. You do need money. Money is important. And when we say money doesn't buy you happiness, I think they're idiots as well. Look at how many people you know who are rich and really unhappy. Not that many. If they're not happy, it's because they didn't work out other stuff. But money gets you stuff. So, and money's an energy. All you got to do is work on what you want. We'll do a whole section on money at some point. Let's go through this for now, okay, which is all about the Blue Ocean strategy. Right, be successful on purpose. Work it out, plan it out. Entrepreneurs hoping that's go, oh, if the wind's blowing this way, maybe we'll be successful. No, work on it. There's clues everywhere. Get a mentor, do whatever it takes. There's loads of brilliant opportunities to fast track yourself and be more successful. So work on that. It's a business on being a business. Being a business or being a business. In fact, the smart way is if you look at Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, and you look at the fourth quadrant, is it called? The four quadrants or something, I can't remember. There's 4 different types of job you can have. One is being an employee, one is being an owner, one is being self-employed, and one is an investor. That's it. So you've got all these different 4 quadrants. What you're after is being in a helicopter view over your own business. Not in it, if you can avoid it. Sometimes do it because you want to, but if you're in it, you'll never make any money out of it. because you'll always be just about making even because of the fact that you're selling your time. But if you can bring other people in to work on your business for you, and you can rise above it, you can bring in more people and scale it and make more money. Basics. True? No. Yes? No. Yes? Yes. All right then. Number 3, focus on what lights you up. What makes you excited? What floats your boat? Can you guess what makes me excited? Apart from, obviously, Scarlett Johansson a little bit. My wife's much better, but anyway, I thought the picture was going to show. Now it's not going to pop. It was going to pop up. Where has it gone? It's playing hard to get. Oh no, there we go. Playing hard to get. Like somebody else I know. Don't go there, Dave. Don't go there, Dave. Go. So, what we're talking about is very important. Focus on what lights you up in your life. And I keep talking all the time about superheroes. I keep talking about superhero movies. I keep talking about superhero bits. I've got my Black Panther here to remind me about Chadwick Boseman. Why does that light me up? Because when I was a kid, I liked superheroes, and now as an old fart, I like superheroes as well. So make sure your job is on stuff that makes you happy. I already showed you earlier all about this. Remember? The hedgehog concept, which I was pointing out earlier about the importance of getting that worked out into your life. Make sure that your happiness is part of it, and then you will be happy every day. Don't do stuff that you hate. So I hate doing accounts. I hate doing paperwork. I hate filling in forms. Some people love that stuff. So I get them to do it because that just makes me doing the stuff that I love. Okay, so once you've worked out what lights you up, what makes you happy, delegate the stuff that doesn't make you happy to somebody else in your team, and then outsource all the rest of it. That's really boring. And the stuff that you don't know. So it might be you don't know how to code websites, and you're going, I must learn how to code. Excuse me, just have a little bit of IA, which is Malaysian for water. Back again. So you might not know how to code, and you're going, well, you know, in a modern world, we have to learn to code. No, you don't necessarily. It will help if you do, but you can also hire in somebody who's brilliant at coding, and then you can go back to what you were doing before, which is brilliant at selling websites or putting together concepts, and then you hand it over to somebody who's an outsourced webmaster who just basically codes for a living and loves it. But they're very hard to talk to sometimes because they prefer to talk to computers. So you're saying, have you worked it out for me? Have you? And that's all you get sometimes. Or maybe I was just talking to my dog. Yeah, my dog can't code. That's probably why the typing just left scratches all over keys. And number 5, your final part for today, is create a great work environment for everyone. Make it easy for everyone to play together. Because the thing is, if everyone gets on and everyone enjoys it, then you get a much better relationship. In fact, I've got a diagram. I'll share it with you tomorrow. Once it used to be that you were micromanaging everybody as a leader and a boss. You were telling everybody what to do, and you carrot and stick and you beat them. You got the gold bar and bread cake. Squeeze toy smells nice today. And you do that to your staff, and it was just the old way of doing stuff. You were in charge and everyone should follow. But the truth is, we've moved now. You've got a garden of staff, and you should be creating an environment where it's an ecosystem, where everybody is interlocked. That sounds like something we should be talking about. But everyone's interlocked in their business way of getting together. You're all part of the same unit. And you all help each other, and you all accept that you've got different skills, but you understand that to come together as a whole means that you get the product done, you do great business, and everyone looks after each other. There's no stabbing in the back, no nasty red oceans, part of the blue ocean strategy, and all that other stuff. Does that make sense? Are you with me? Was that useful for you? Say yes, Dave. Yes, Dave. Why am I saying it on my own? Say yes, Dave. Just type it. I'd love it if you did. Still with me? Yeah? Okay. So don't be miserable. Have a wonderful life. And that's what it's all truly about. Next up, by the way, you said, apart from the fact I've got to drink a little bit of Burberry coffee. Look at that. Look at that. And the reason I'm drinking this and not my straight out Wakanda mug today is because it's bone china. Shouldn't slurp, but bone china it is. My wife said I should have that today because I've been bone idle. What do you mean by that? Right then, I did promise that we'd be looking at exactly how to kick ass in a crowded market. And it's kind of important to share this. I think it's really important anyway, because The world is really difficult, and it has been for a little while, and it's going to get more difficult. But at the same time, if you can work out what your blue ocean strategy is, that you're going now to find a blue ocean and not spend time in a red ocean where everyone's fighting over the same stuff, you'll find it a lot easier. I'll let you have one more look at this, which is your hedgehog. Always hedgehog yourself. I do it all the time. I thought about it when I went into lockdown because I was training people to speak, traveling around the world, hosting events and speaking on big stages in front of like thousands of people. And that's my job as a motivational international keynote speaker, work for the United Nations, all the rest of the stuff. So I'm traveling around the world doing all these gigs. And then we go into lockdown, so nobody's traveling. So what do I have to work out? Well, what do I do really well? I speak and I train people to speak. What do I love doing? Coaching people. And what's going to work financially? Well, I can't do gigs, but I can do virtual gigs from my home. So that's why I threw myself into doing this show and also the Toilet Paper Diaries, which is on tomorrow night with myself and Ernesto, who's based in Houston. I'm based in Dubai, and we do a show for you, and you'll love it. It's going to be very, very funny indeed, all about how the US elections is like taking part in a reality TV show. I know you're intrigued, but you have to watch it and find out tomorrow, 9 o'clock Dubai time, or 12 o'clock Houston lunchtime, I think it is. Okay, so how to kick ass in, not Kickass, how to kick ass in a crowded market. First thing is this. Have an open mind and believe that you can win regardless of what is happening around you. Very important. You have to divorce yourself from all the different things people are saying. It doesn't matter what people are saying, it only matters what you think. So make sure you put that at the heart of everything as you do it. Otherwise you just get upset. And there's no point getting upset because nobody else cares. It's true. Only you care about you, and that's the way it should be. Okay, blue ocean strategy or market. I'm not going to talk about blue ocean strategy much more. If you missed the video, you should have seen it earlier. Read the book. It's fascinating. But the concept is brilliant. Okay, so there's lots of ways if you want to speed up books. There's lots of different things like Blinkist, I think it is, which gives you about 15 minutes worth of the best bits of the book as an audio or just as something you can read. And I've got my Kindle over there, which I'll show you. Stay there, don't go anywhere. Look at this. My Kindle. I'm now Captain America. Everything's superheroes. So I'm now looking forward to spending some quality time reading my Kindle. And right now I've got a Seth Godin book, which I'm going to enjoy reading. Poke the Box. Cool. Looking forward to that. Seth Godin's brilliant, by the way. Kindles are great. I used to have them in my pocket for every meeting. And so if I'd sit in a meeting and I was just waiting for things to happen, get the Kindle out, read it, put it back, everybody's happy. Right then, so I know I don't leave the house. I just carry it around when I'm talking to my family, and I still feel happy. Define your own version of happiness. I've explained to you what happiness really is already. I won't do it again, but work out what your version of happiness is. And it doesn't matter what anybody else's is, as long as your happiness is not beating up other people, in which case maybe you have to redefine your idea of what happiness truly is. Okay, so number 4, work out your hedgehog. We've already done that with the diagram earlier. Remember one about what you do best, what you love, and what people will pay for? That's it. Very simple indeed. In fact, now I'm talking about all this different stuff. Are you finding it useful? Are you feeling that there's an opportunity now for you to be able to break out of your comfort zone and go out and do something else? The whole point in doing this is to reinvent yourself. It's to think differently about who you are and also go out and do stuff on your own. You've got to have a different way of playing the game than you did before because the old way doesn't work. People aren't going to be sitting in offices the way they used to. Maybe never again. So you're going to have to work on your own. If you work on your own, maybe you don't need to be thinking like the herd mentality or they're going to be part of the tribe. Maybe you can invent your own tribe. I'll be talking about that in more depth as we go on through all the different things. So working out your hedgehogs, number 4. Number 5 is all about understanding this. Dump anything that's not working and dump it fast. What do you mean by that, Dave? Dump it? Are you sure about dumping it? Yeah, I'll tell you exactly why you should dump it. Because it's not helping you. Get rid of it. There's a load of things that are in your life that are really challenging. A load of things that people have said to you. Now, if you look at the most successful business people, whether it's a Steve Jobs or it's a Bill Gates or any of those guys, they get used to moving very quickly and making really sharp decisions, like the guys that work in the stock exchange and so on. It's very simple. If something's not working for you, just move on very, very quickly. I know people turn around and say, well, you know, you spent money on that. Well, you'll spend more money wasting your time doing something that's not working for you. Put it on the back burner, put it on one side, give it to somebody else. Same with clients. If you've got clients that are rubbish And we've all got clients that are a bit rubbish. Sometimes you hold on. Some keep thinking, well, you know, there's still that little bit of money comes through with them, you know, but it takes a lot of time and we've got to give them extra TLC. Dump them. Get rid of them. If they're a pain in the butt, get rid of them and replace them with people who are much, much better, who just pay the money and get things done. And they're on the same wavelength and they value who you are. If you've got bad clients, sack them. Give them to your competition who goes, oh, thank you very much. That's great. And we go, you know that client? Yeah. They're a pain. Yeah, that's our games here. Do you wish you hadn't now? All right, number 6, hire a team that's better than you. This is key. If you have everybody who's not as good as you, how are you going to grow? And how are you going to farm out work if you think you're much better? Don't do that. Get people who are better. Get people who are better at doing their thing, but better at doing your thing if you can. And then you get that helicopter view I talked about. Remember, this is about making sure that you can kick ass in a crowded market. You move out that market, but really optimize everything that's around it. Number 7, and you probably already buy into this, which is protect your cash flow, and cash flow is king. If you've experienced the things about the lockdown, it's really difficult sometimes, especially if your business is heading towards bankruptcy or you're finding it really challenging. Cash flow is everything. Make sure that you look after your ability to eat more than anything, and also your investments. If you would love to invest and do something really extravagant because you're thinking, this is what I'm missing, maybe you shouldn't buy it firsthand. Maybe you should buy a second-hand version of it. Or maybe you should wait. Or maybe you should do a workaround. I'm serious. If you want to invest in something, normally you just go, I'll take a bank loan out, but you don't know when you're going to pay that off, and you really don't want to take those kind of risks in now kind of environment. Risks are really good if they're calculated, and risks are worth it if you're investing in you. I'll give an example. I keep getting phone calls, even now, from people saying, hello, is that Dave Crane? Yes, it's Dave Crane. Good, Mr. Crane, I'd like to share with you some ideas. Can I ask you a few questions? I'm going, hold on, what's all this about? What is your attitude to investing in stocks and shares and looking after the future? I realize you're an expat, and you live in Dubai, and blah, blah. And I'm going, stop. And why am I holding a phone that looks like something I can pick my nose with? Should have a phone like that. I should just go like that. Smack. Put it down. Make my money like that. And not talk to people who just ring me. And I get rid of them very quickly. But the point is that, and this is the point I'm trying to make, if you're going to invest in something, invest in you. Take all that money, invest in you, in your own business, because you can see the profits go up. You can see how it's going to work. There are challenges as well, which I'm going to tell you about in a moment. But protect your cash flow and invest in you. Number 8, answer only to you and yourself and your dependents. I mean your dependents. If you're working, you've got to answer to your boss. But ultimately, you are your boss. You are creating a business of you to hire out to somebody, and they're paying you money to borrow your business of you in their business. Does that make sense? So somewhere along the lines, you've got to be the boss of your own business, even if you're working for somebody else. Answering to your dependents, answering to your family, but outside of that, let anybody else kiss it. I'm serious. This is important. This is about making your money. Everything here is about making your money. If you answer to everybody and they ask you a question, you go, okay, then they've got intel. I've got people all the time saying to me, Dave, how's it going as a speaker? Right now, it must be really difficult. I'm going, no, I'm doing a show every day. I've got thousands of people watching it. Well, is it turning into business? Yeah, I'm being hired for lots of gigs all around the world. Oh, and by the way, if you like what I do with this show and you've got a staff event coming up and your team are remote, I can do this on Zoom for your team. Like this. How does that sound? Cool? See? So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm reinventing and doing it. And so people ask you questions, you don't have to tell them anything. If they want to tune in the show, they can work out how I do it if they can. If not, good luck. Or they can work with me and I'll show them how I do it. Because there's enough there for everybody. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, number 9, reinvent the game rules so you have an edge over your peers. That's what I'm talking about. Goodness me, I say it so many times. So many people are obsessed with the idea of the fact that you've got to stay in your lane. You've got to do stuff that everyone deems you should be doing. And you know where that comes from? School. School, they worked out at school very early that that's a smart kid, that's a stupid kid, that's a good at sports, that's the one who's good looking, that's the one who's funny, that's the hot chick, that's her best mate, all that. That's a kid that nobody wants to talk to because... And people stay in that lane because that's what they were told. Reinvent yourself every day. If people don't like who you are, I couldn't care less what people think of me. I couldn't. I've got these little horrible glasses on that make me look like some kind of librarian professor. I've got this big ponytail like that. I've not had my hair done properly for months, and I'm wearing a t-shirt, and I've got my look. That's my kind of Wakanda style, Wolverine type necklace. I shouldn't have shown you that, should I? You've lost all respect. Not that you had that much anyway. Okay, so number 10, stop looking for approval from people. It doesn't matter what people think of you. This is your game. This is your world. It doesn't matter what people think of you, because one day we'll all be dead and it won't make any difference whatsoever. I don't care if people like me. If they do like me, that's great. Hopefully I'm giving you value with this show and you're enjoying it. But if you don't, you just go click and you don't watch it anymore. But how much you're paying for this? Free. Ha-ha. It's great value. So there you go. So stop looking for approval. The approval's in here. This is between you and your creator, or you and the people you love. And if people don't like you, that's fine. But it's amazing, isn't it, that every person is a success. Everyone turns around and goes, wow, aren't they amazing? And they forget about all the stuff they had to go through to get it. Number 11, pick the lowest hanging fruit in the garden. What do I mean by the lowest hanging fruit? Well, very simple. If you look at your hedgehog and you work out what it is that you do that you're so good at doing, make it the easiest to access one. So for instance, in a perfect world, I could be the king of Mongolia doing this and blah, blah, blah. All I've got to do is these very simple 2,000 steps and it will be a reality for me. Or I can do something now, which is be the king of my street and build a barricade at both ends and have a big baseball bat and get my... No, forget the king concept. It's kind of losing a little bit with this. But, supposing you have a big garden, right? And you sell produce, and you're going, right, okay, I've got some bananas here, I've got some oranges there, I've got some apples in front of me, and I've got the coconuts at the top. And coconuts are fruit? Yeah, fruit. So coconuts at the top of the palms. Now, people love coconuts, and they can sell them for a lot, so that's great. Pineapples, I can get a lot as well. But to climb to the top of those trees, I've got to wait for them to be ripe, otherwise I can't go up. It's dangerous, and I haven't got a ladder. I have to wait for a ladder. Or you can say, look, I've got strawberries on the ground. Not because they're falling out of the trees, because strawberries grow on the ground. You didn't know that? They do. But not if people stand on them, then they become squash. So you go, right, so I've got a choice. I can sell these wonderful coconuts and pineapples and make Malibu. Have you had Malibu? It's really nice. Not for a while, though. I've not been to Malibu either. Or I can just make these strawberries. Strawberries are the lowest hanging fruit I can access. So why don't I just do something with strawberries? Get access to the strawberries. I make strawberry jam, make strawberry jelly, make strawberry juice, make strawberry cake, and just do lots of different things with strawberry. Why? Because they're easy to access. And then you reinvent your business just to be around strawberries. Forget all the other stuff. If it comes, it comes. When it comes, it's great. If not, give it to somebody else. But make a business around the lowest hanging fruit and scale it. Once you've scaled it, you'll find it very easy to look after, because then you just do more of the same and get other people in to do it for you. And then wash and repeat. Clearly you wash the strawberries before you give them out, but if you've got a business that's working, why reinvent the shape of a wheel? It's already working, do the same again and do more of it. And then you can scale it, get other people in to do the strawberries for you. Grow more strawberry patches, grow them on other people's land and rent it. And if it works out cost effective, get the whole street to be strawberries for you and then dominate Mongolia. I don't know why I keep coming up with Mongolia, but it sounds like a cool place to be. Wow, action-packed show. Hope you enjoyed it so far. Loads of stuff going on. We've got our new logo, by the way. My wife did this for me. Speak on Stage. What do you think of that? It's cool, isn't it? I'm not just saying it because she's watching, and if I said it was horrible, she'd beat me with that golden microphone, but I think it's kind of cool. I was looking for a way of getting us so we're just out there, and that's kind of telling you what it is. So Speak on Stage. If you want to do the Industry Icon program, then I can connect with me. I'll show you how to do it. Go to SpeakOnstage.com, and the Industry Icon program is when I work with people personally to be able to get them to be great, get a great brand, reinvent themselves, push themselves forward, change their title so the world reacts to it, and create clients from everywhere. The emphasis on it is really about getting you to where you truly need to be. That's why being an industry icon is more important than being a great speaker, because it's all about relevance now. It's all about the context of what you do, not just the content. I don't believe that speakers, as speakers, are going to be as relevant as they used to be anymore. I'm just telling you the truth for now. Why? Because I don't think that the ability to stand in front of a huge crowd of 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people is the be all and end all anymore, because people aren't going out in their crowds. I think your ability to broadcast is more important than doing shows like this. I also think the more you can make it niched, the more you can make it about your industry, not only does one thing, but there's two things. It positions you really well to be able to talk to a specific group, but also if that group is what you do for a living as well, you can have 1.5 jobs. So you can do your normal job and be an expert on your job and get paid by others to talk about what you do for a living anyway. That's why it's industry icon program. Get it? Now, I also think that the older you are, the better you are for this. I mean, it elevates you amongst your peers and your superiors. It gets incredible respect for you from everybody you know, and people who want to find you and work with you do so as well. It also positions you so you can create your own TV show. You're seen as an expert in everything by the stuff you do. You stay in your lane, so you're doing a hedgehog. And there's a number of side hustles and multiple streams of income. You can come just from speaking and communicating. Remember, the whole world is watching you now. They never used to care before, but they do now. So when you're visible and you're easily found online, then it also means that when you've got a website and other stuff you attach to it, it's a really exciting potential for you to be massive. I won't spend too long on this, but if you're interested in talking to me about it, then contact me through SpeakOnstage.com or through my many social media outlets, which is if you go to thedavecrane.com, then you've got everything listed that you need to be able to contact with me directly. I'll give you a 10 to 15 minute consultation for free, and we'll work out how to get your business to be even better with you as a speaker at the center of it. And he's saying, but I don't like speaking. Don't worry, I'll take care of that. I'll help you get over your fear in public speaking. I don't really know what to talk about. Don't worry about that. Your job is enough. You'll be able to talk about that. There's loads of people, unless your job is stabbing bananas. I think that's a limited market. But if your job's anything else, you can find a market of people who want to pay to have you associate. And you don't even have to get paid to be speaking. You can speak at the highest level and get people to buy your product because they really like you and they gravitate towards you. So there's a number of different ways that to drive your sales just by being a more effective speaker. So if you're thinking about it and you're going, well, I don't really know how it fits in, don't worry about it. You're probably not the client for me. If you do think you're going, well, actually there's a potential here. I've always wanted to speak, didn't know how to do it, and I wonder how this would really help my business because right now it's a bit tough. But I do know there's an opportunity. I'm just not sure how to get that. That's when you talk to me. Contact me through SpeakOnstage, go to the Industry Icon program, and just press the link. It's Calendly, and you can book a 10 to 15 minute consultation with me. That's simple. Oh, by the way, it's SpeakOnstage. Love your thoughts. As always, I always comment because I love you so much. So how are you? It means how are you? Yes. And that's it. Wow, what a show. It's just gone bang, 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 bang. And I haven't stopped talking. And a rare occasion, I didn't drink all my coffee in my Burberry mug. But it was all about this. You learned loads of ways of making money today, don't you think? Don't you think it was all about the Benjamins and how to kick ass in a crowded market, how to be motivated, and how to think differently? I really do believe that we're in a magic time. This is a huge opportunity. It's like recently we had the Grammys on. I think it was the Emmys with Jimmy Fallon. And I don't know if you saw it, but have a look at it. Have a look at it online. Excuse me, on YouTube. So Jimmy Fallon's talking about these are the awards for the best people on stage and screen and blah blah blah. Problem is, there's going to be nobody on stage and screen for a while, maybe even 2 years, at least 1 year, but maybe 2 years, because a lot of things are getting coronavirus, like the production of Batman, the Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. That I think he caught it actually, and The Rock caught it recently. So even going on a production set is perilous, and you can't really do a romantic scene with somebody who's 6 foot away. I love you. What? I love you. Can't hear you. I said, I love you. Take the mask off. I'm not going to take the mask off. I don't know where you've been. Oh, so you can't love me that much? I love you. Well, kiss me then. I can't kiss you. What do you say? I took the mask off again. I can't kiss you because you might have a coronavirus. But I love you. Where are you going? I said I loved her and she's gone. Not to worry. I love you now. Anyway, you get the general idea. There's going to be no movies. There's going to be nothing that's going to be built for a while. We'll recycle old stuff. And also, it'll be a time where you'll find classics that nobody bothered watching getting a re-release. But then you're going to have a dirge of nothing happening, which means it's a magic time for getting out there and talking about what you do. Because people are going to be starved of really interesting content. Podcasts are going to go through the roof. TV shows are going to go through the roof. But really smart plans like this one, where you're doing something on a budget, but you're on point with what you do. And you use it as a way of relating to people. And you make it interesting as a podcast or as a video cast and so on. This is going to be a huge growth area to fill the gap that used to be filled by proper TV and proper movies and proper stuff. Does that make sense? Yes? Good. Well, I'm glad you understand and I'm glad you're with me. Hope you enjoyed the show. As always, thanks for your company. I'll be back tomorrow with more stuff on risk. I think I'm going to do a show on risk. And I'll do a show soon on education, and I'll do a show soon on, what else should I do? Hypnosis. Hypnosis! Do you want that? Do you want me to do a show on how to hypnotize people? That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? So when somebody comes around to bring you something from Amazon, you say, right, ding dong, and go, right, open the door. Hello, can I help you? And we say, yeah, I've got Amazon for you. And you can go sleep. And we go, oh. And you just close the door. And you go and open your package. And you go, ooh. Somebody sent me M&Ms. That was nice. Didn't know Amazon did that. Right then, I'm going to love you and leave you with a video. So I'm going to catch up with you tomorrow. As always, contact me directly if you'd like to talk about the Industry Icon program. And if you want to know how to do a show like this, then contact me as well. I can show you there's one for every industry. And there's many for every industry when you really are able to dumb it down to being one particular point that you own. And that's how, ultimately, you can kick ass in a crowded marketplace. Redefining yourself is what I'm all about, and I'm going to leave you this video of your redefinition. It's Dave Crane on Speak on Stage. Have a wonderful day. Much love. Thank you. Bye. I want to ask you a question. What defines you? What if you lost your money, you lost your job, you lost your house, you lost your shoes, you lost your friends, you lost the ability to turn around and say to people, this is what I want from my life? What if you had no rights? What if you had no clothes? What if you had nowhere to live? What if your passport went and you lost your ability to take a plane to anywhere in the world? What if a bank didn't recognize you? What if nobody recognized you? What if you lost your health? And on top of that, you lost your will. What would you be after all those things? The truth is, you would still be you. Your phone, your gadgets, the people around you, they're what define you right now, but that's not who you truly are. The person you truly are is whoever you decide that you're going to be. And you can decide that person every single day. Every day you have a choice. You can stay where you are. You can look at the past. You can look at all the trophies on the shelf and the photos and the selfies of the places that you've been and the people you've met. And you can say, that is me. Or you can say, that was me yesterday. The one that comes today and the one that comes tomorrow. It could be anybody. And the adventure is, I'm going to define them right now. And that's why you create a roadmap and you define yourself every single day.